Hey guys, my name is Morgan. I am the owner of Karma Yoga Studio Guelph. As you can see, we are within my home today. We're going to be doing a short little at-home practice. Just a short little stretch video I thought would be really great for after the holidays. A lot of us have been having a little bit of a lack of movement lately or feeling a little bit tighter with the cold weather. So this is a great video that you can do every day or a few times a week, just to help regain some flexibility in our muscles and joints and just help our body to prep for some of those yoga flows or bigger workouts that we are going to be doing, or not. If this is the only workout we're going to be doing, then that's okay as well. This is a really great way just to kind of ease back into things. So we're going to start off on our mats here. So just getting a mat or a towel, something soft to sit on, and then that's all you'll need for this stretch class. Okay, so sitting cross-legged if this is available to you. If not, you can have your legs out to the side. Always listening to your body. Like I say in all of my yoga classes, if something feels really, really good, you can stay in it longer. If something doesn't feel good, just come out of that position and switch to something that does feel wonderful for your body, okay? So really tune into yourself for this practice. We don't ever want to overstretch or hyperextend anything because if we are really, really tight, it doesn't take a lot to do that. So we want to start off really gentle, and then as something feels good, you can kind of sink into it a little bit deeper, or if you're starting to feel that tightness, just easing back and pulling back a little bit or coming out altogether. So sitting cross-legged to start, we're going to move the sit bones out of the way. Start by rolling the shoulders back. We're going to open up the palms, nice and tall through the spine. Release that tension in the shoulders across the upper back. We're going to start off by closing our eyes, connecting with breath, and allowing our breath to be the main focus of our practice. So even if we're just lying on our mats, focusing on breathing and softening tension, then that is wonderful. So letting go of any of the tension we're holding in the face and in the jaw. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, or in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then just starting to soften the shoulders, releasing tension down the arms, down into the hands. Feeling that release of tension down the spine, all the way down into the hips. And if we're holding our legs up tight, just feel them soften down, releasing the legs. Feeling our body getting weighty into the mat or into the floor. 2 more full breaths here. As we inhale, we're going to inhale, reaching our arms all the way up, stretching up nice and tall. And then as we exhale, let's take a fold, nice and gentle. Again, adjusting for what feels best here. If it feels better to be back here with just placing our fingertips on the floor, then that's where you want to stay. If you're really feeling it kind of through the side of the legs here and the hips, then just stay here. Or if we want to go a little deeper, just start to slowly exhale, softening down. You could always utilize a pillow or block underneath the arms to give yourself a little lift. And again, we just want to go nice and gentle. If we haven't stretched much over the last little while, you don't want to pull anything. And while we're here, let's start to drop the chin towards the chest, releasing the spine, finding length all the way down from the base of the spine all the way up through to the crown of the head. And while we're here, try to soften all of the muscles in the face and jaw, just letting everything kind of hang down to release. A lot of us hold our tension within our jaw. So just feeling all those muscles releasing. Three more full breaths here. And then we're going to slowly start to press into the hands, walking back towards our body. Sitting up nice and tall. We're gonna take the opposite foot in front. So if we're cross-legged, we're just gonna switch feet. So usually this is our non-dominant side because we naturally come to our dominant side when it comes to sitting cross-legged. So while we're here, we're gonna sit up nice and tall. Once again, move those sit bones out of the way, tall through the spine. We're gonna inhale, sweep those arms to reach up. And then as we exhale, once again, taking a fold, and if we just land with our fingertips down, staying there, or if it feels good to go a little deeper, just start to release down as far as you're comfortable, really noticing now that right side and how that feels, or the left side, depending on which foot you have forward. And then once again, releasing the chin towards the chest, lengthening the spine, finding your breath. And we want to bring awareness into our body, so noticing how tight we feel on each side, noticing which side is our dominant side, and this is going to help us throughout our practice. So the more you do either this video or this stretch, you'll start to recognize if you are able to come into this pose a little bit deeper, or if you're starting to feel less tension, if overall it's just easier to come in and out of. So this is a really great pose to bring that awareness into our bodies. 3 more full breaths here. And then starting to press again into the palms, walking back towards our body here. Let's take our feet out front. And then moving those sit bones out of the way, sitting up nice and tall. We can either point our toes or draw the toes towards the body, so whichever feels better. We're gonna roll the shoulders back, nice and tall through the spine. Inhale, sweep the arms up. While we're here, we're engaging the core, so we're sucking the belly button into the spine. We're kind of pulling up nice and tall here. Beautiful, and then pressing down into the sit bones. And then as we exhale, we're going to take a fold, once again, just as far as you're comfortable. Releasing the chin towards the chest. And if it feels good here to stay in this pose, then we can stay here. Or if you want to find a bit of movement by rolling back up, inhale, sweep the arms. And then exhale, take another fold. And you can repeat this if this feels good, or you can stay in that forward fold. Making sure we're engaging our core each time we come up. And if it feels good when we come down, we can even apply a little bit of pressure to the bottoms of our feet, pulling our bodies a little closer, only if that feels nice. One more, exhale. Beautiful, and then start to slowly stack the spine back up, rolling the shoulders back. Sitting up nice and tall, engaging belly button to spine. Beautiful. And then from here, we're going to take that right leg out to the right side. That left foot is going to draw in so the heel is in towards our groin. We're going to take our body and swivel it over the right leg, taking the sit bone, moving it out of the way. Okay, so we're facing that right leg. From here, we're going to inhale the arms to reach up, nice and tall. Exhale, take a fold. And just releasing here as far as that feels good. And then while we're here, we actually want to open up that left side body. So taking the left hand to the left hip, opening up that left shoulder, and we can either look up towards the sky, or we can look down towards that right foot. So again, whatever feels best here, finding your breath, softening and releasing. Two more full breaths here. And then from here, we're going to take that left hand towards the right toe. And then we're going to inhale that left arm coming all the way by left side body. Okay, and then the right palm is going to face the ceiling. So the left hand is to the left side, right palm faces the ceiling. And then we're going to drop that right foot down, rolling to the inside of that foot. We're going to press weight into the left hand and the right foot. And we're going to take that right arm and stretch it back, coming into a little side dancer stretch. Beautiful. And then we're going to exhale to release back down. And then we're going to take that left leg out to the left side, right foot comes in. Once again, sitting up nice and tall, moving the sit bones out of the way. We're going to swivel over that left leg here. Inhale the arms to reach up. And then as we exhale, take another fold. Noticing this side versus the right side. And then if it feels good to take the right hand to the right hip, open up that right shoulder, looking up towards the ceiling or down towards that left hand. And just feel that really nice stretch through right side body. So this is really good for helping open up the meridians in the body, which are our energy pathways in the body, helping remove some blockages, or just a really nice stretch as well. 2 more full breaths here. Then we're going to take that right arm up and over, touching the left foot or towards that foot. And then we're going to inhale the right arm all the way to the right side. Left palm faces the ceiling. We're going to drop that left foot so that it's touching the floor, pressing into the right hand and the left foot. We're going to take that left arm and reach it all the way back, coming into that nice side dancer stretch. Once again, feeling stretch through left side body. Exhale to release back down. Beautiful. We're going to come into a bound angle, so feet together, knees apart, moving the sit bones out of the way. Once again, sitting up nice and tall through the spine. While we're here, we tend to hold our knees up, so try to soften them down. If you have blocks or little pillows that you want to place underneath the knees for a little bit of support to draw the legs up, you can do that as well. This helps take away that pull from the groin area. But if this feels really, really good to just soften, then we can just release that tension. And then again, stay here, or we can hinge forward at the hips, release the hands down, and then inch forward as far as you're comfortable, dropping the chin to the chest. Finding your breath, noticing the groin, noticing the hips. Women usually tend to hold a lot of their tension within the hips. Some men as well obviously have tight hips. So this is a really important stretch to do often. And a lot of times when we suffer from knee pain, it actually starts at the hips. So when we release the hip muscles and the hip tension, it can actually help reduce knee pain. Not always, but a lot of times these are connected. So this is an important stretch to do. And another thing to remember while we're here is we can move the feet away and closer to our body. So if we want to pull the feet in closer and then lean forward, you'll get a little bit of a deeper stretch. Or if we want to take the feet away from the body, you'll get a whole nother stretch there. So just playing around with this while you're here, seeing what feels best, and just listening to your body. We're just going to be spending 3 more full breaths here. And again, if this feels good to stay in this longer, you're more than welcome to. And then gently start to stack the spine. And then we're going to take our hands to the outsides of the knees, and we're going to use our hands and arms to draw the legs back together. So we're not pulling with the groin. We're going to take that left leg out in front, okay? And then we're going to take that right foot and cross it over the left leg. So we're coming into a bit of a twist here. So we're going to hug the right leg with the left arm, squeezing that leg in towards our body, nice and tall through the spine. And then we're going to take the right hand behind our backs, opening up the right shoulder. So we're coming into a twist here. Okay, so we should be looking over the right shoulder, and the right leg should be crossed over the left. Nice tall spine, find your breath. And then as we exhale, we're going to slowly release our gaze forward first. The right shoulder will follow. And then we're going to take that right leg off, and then we're just going to shake out the hips here, releasing that hip tension. Okay, and then we're gonna sit up nice and tall, take that left leg in, and we're gonna cross the left foot over the right leg. Hugging the left leg with the right arm this time. The left hand comes to the back, open up that left shoulder, nice and tall through the spine, gazing over that left arm, just as far as you're comfortable, finding your breath. And noticing how this feels in the spine, the low back and the hips. And then slowly start to release your gaze forward first, the left shoulder to follow, and then we're going to take that left leg off and then just shake out the hips here. Making our way onto our hands and knees, so we're going to come into tabletop. So the knees should be directly under the hips, the wrists should be directly underneath the shoulders. So coming into that tabletop, we want to keep our core nice and strong, so we're sucking the belly button into the spine. We're going to come through cat and cow pose, so tucking the tailbone in, tucking the chin to the chest, rolling the spine up towards the ceiling. Imagine a string in the center of your back, pulling you up towards the sky. And then as we exhale, we drop the belly button down, shoulders roll back, tailbone comes up, and finding that nice cow pose. So connecting with breath here, we're going to inhale back and forth through cat pose as we tuck the tailbone. And then exhale, drop the belly button down, moving into cow pose. And just going at your own pace, we're going to work back and forth through these two movements. We can squeeze the core and squeeze the glutes each time we come back and forth through these two transitions. Really connecting with breath, engaging all of those muscles. And just notice how this feels in the spine, in the hips, and the shoulders. Two more. Coming to stillness. We're going to come into our first downward dog, so let's tuck the toes, reach our hands about a foot up from where they were. We're going to lift up the knees, pressing back into the heels, adjusting however we need to here. Releasing the neck down, release the heels down to the mat as far as you're comfortable. We can even walk the hands back a little bit closer if we'd like, or we can walk our hands further towards the top of the mat. So again, playing around while we're here, adjusting to whatever feels best. We want to engage the core, so we want to suck that belly button back in towards the spine. Release the tension in the neck, so maybe give your head a little tiny gentle shake. And then just find your breath here. We're going to sink into this down dog. And this should be a really nice stretch. A lot of people find this a very, very active pose. Some people find it a very relaxing pose. So it just depends on what poses you typically like. And we're going to walk this out. So we're going to walk the dog. We're going to bend the right knee down and the left. And just working back and forth, walking the dog. Releasing tension down the legs. And then we can come to stillness, and we can even try drawing that right knee over towards the left side and the left knee over to the right side. So we can kind of walk the hips side to side if that feels nice. And then coming back to stillness. From here, we're going to inhale to the tippy toes. And as we exhale, we're going to draw the knees to either edge of the mat. We're going to drop the bum back towards the heels, lengthen in the arms. We're going to drop the forehead down to the mat. So coming into our child's pose. So we're releasing the chest and forehead down, opening up in the hips. And if this is too intense on the hips, you can actually lift the bum up and draw the knees directly underneath the hips, coming into puppy pose. Okay, so whichever feels best. If child's pose feels wonderful, then just staying there, releasing tension in the ankles. And then once again, like I said, just softening into the shoulders and find your breath here. We're going to just spend a few moments here, softening down. Feel free to stay in this pose a little longer if you'd like to. Three more full breaths. And try to ground down through the hands and feet, sinking a little bit deeper into your mat. Slowly from here, we're going to lift the bum, we're going to tuck the toes, and then we're going to draw ourselves back into tabletop. Okay, we're going to make our way back into downward dog, so tucking the toes, draw those hands back up, pulling back into down dog, sinking into the heels. Once again, release the neck, taking weight off the hands by sinking into the hips. Beautiful. And then from here, we're going to look forward at our hands, okay? And then from here, we can either take a walk or a little bunny hop to the top of the mat. Then we're going to send that tailbone up towards the sky, take a forward fold, lengthening down the legs. So if we have a nice length down the legs, that's great. Or if we have a little micro bend, that's also okay, whichever feels best. Just release the neck. Beautiful. And then while we're here, maybe it feels good to shift weight forward and back from the heels to the toes. And then coming to stillness, we're going to soften into ragdoll. So bend the knees deep. Maybe reach for either elbow, gently rocking side to side. Maybe allowing arms to go heavy as we slowly stack the spine, rising up, one vertebrae at a time, coming all the way up to mountain. Shoulders roll back, palms open to the front, finding that strong mountain pose. So we want our core nice and strong, tailbone tucked. And just find your breath here. Beautiful. From here, we're going to inhale, sweep the arms, reaching all the way up. And as we exhale, coming to the right side for our tall mountain stretches. Inhaling back to center. As we exhale to the left side, pressing palms together. Inhale back to center. As we exhale, let's take a swan dive forward. So opening up the chest, length down the legs. Beautiful. And take another forward fold. This time we're going to widen our stance, so we're going to draw our feet to the edges of the mat, sinking into the hips, release the neck. We can even shift hips side to side if that feels good. Or once again, shifting weight from the heels to the toes. And then walking gently over to the right side. Finding length down the right leg. Gently walking over to the left side. Coming back to center. We're going to take that left hand to center, to the floor, or if you have a block, you can place your hand on the block. And draw that right arm all the way up for a nice twist up towards the sky. And exhale, release back down. Right hand comes to center. As we inhale, that left arm reaches up for another twist, engaging our core, belly button to spine. And then exhale to release. From here, we're going to draw the heels in slightly. We're going to draw our toes towards the edges of the mat. We're going to sink down into Malasana or squat pose. So let's adjust here however we need to. If your squat is up here, then that's okay as well. Again, it's wherever you feel it. So some people's squat is up this high, some people's all the way down, and then some people's are up on their tippy toes, some people's heels are down. Yoga, every pose looks different for everybody. So if yours is not all the way down, that is 100% okay. So we're just going to sink into this squat pose, okay, releasing the chin to the chest, finding our breath. And if we want to come into a little twist here, we're going to take that left hand to the right ankle. We're going to draw that right arm all the way up towards the sky, finding a nice twist. Exhale, release, taking the right hand to the left ankle. Inhale, that left arm reaches all the way up for another twist. And then exhale to release. From here, we're going to transition into down dog. So I'm just going to swivel around to on this side. So we're going to plant our hands down. We're going to lift the bum up, and we're going to step back into downward dog, walking out any tension. Once again, engage our core here. Belly button comes to spine. Release the neck. Walk it out. Anything that feels good. Beautiful. And then from here, we're going to sink into the heels. And then we're going to inhale to the tippy toes. And as we exhale, we're going to release back down to child's pose. Knees to the edges of the mat. Toes to touch. Melt the bum back. Chest and forehead come down. Find your breath. Roll the spine, tuck the tailbone, coming back to tabletop. Working through a couple of cat and cows. Two more. And then making our way back towards our bums. Okay, we're going to come back into a seated position. Again, if that feels good, having your legs out or cross-legged, just whatever feels best. We're going to sit up nice and tall. Release the knees back down. Find our breath. We're going to take that right hand over to the right side. Left arm reaches all the way up towards the sky. And if it feels good to go a little deeper, we can walk the right hand out and then release over as far as that feels nice. And then inhale the left hand to the left side, right arm comes up towards the sky, or walk it down a little deeper. And then inhaling back up. Let's take our hands behind our back, squeezing shoulder blades together, lifting the heart up towards the ceiling, getting a really nice heart chakra opener. Find your breath, maybe look up slightly, only if that feels nice in the neck. Exhale to release. Let's just open up our palms, find our breath, and just start to connect back with our inhalations and exhalations. Staying here as long as you'd like, finding your breath, breathing and releasing tension. And just thanking yourself for making this time today for your practice, sending your entire body that love and light that it deserves. Drawing our hands to the center between the eyes as we bow down in full gratitude. Slowly drawing our hands back towards our hearts. And thank you all so much for joining me today in our at-home stretch class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace Peace Peace. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you had a wonderful stretch class. Like I said, this is a great class to do every day if you have the time, or a couple times a week, just to get that flexibility back. And if we're sore or tight, usually we just need a really good stretch. This is a great prep before doing any strength building and things like that. Or if you have done a lot of strengthening and you need to release that tension, then this is another great, flow for you to be doing regularly. So stretch it all out. I'm glad you guys could join today. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.